Sports TV, man. That's my dude. I rolls with him.
You heard what the man said. It's Flight Sports TV.
Flight Sports TV, that's where it's at.
Flight Sports TV.
What's going on, people? It's Flight Sports TV. I appreciate y'all for checking with me. Y'all already know what it is. We back with another one of them things. Man, it's such an honor and a privilege to come speak to people tonight. We got a whole lot of Charlotte Hornets, Lamelo Ball, NBA talk this evening. So definitely buckle up. We are just getting started. There's a lot of things to speak on. I want to highlight what's happening, with all of these renovation plans by new ownership. They are starting to put their fingerprints on things, and I think we need to discuss the ramifications of such move. What is the overall plan? And at the end of the day, how does this benefit Lamelo Ball, MB1, the one of one, the reason why we all show up, the reason why we all are entertained, the reason why we all are engaged with the Charlotte Hornets, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, make no mistake about it. The Hornets are in a tumultuous period right now. But for the sake of Melo, we must figure out what is truly going on. And I'm going to need all sorts of opinions and people to put their thoughts on the platform, because it's definitely warranted. We're going to break down what's the whole plan, because this is being reported by everyone and everybody. A lot of people are disgusted at what's going on with these with this news on the $215 million renovation plans. A lot of people want to know, where does all this stuff started from? Why are we moving in this direction at such an accelerated pace? If you are a Hornets fan, and you are in the cellars, you getting kicked on and stepped on and things like that. Do you really want to hear about new ownership coming in with $215 million, not to put into the team, but to put into an arena? They're trying to renovate the Spectrum Center like it's Madison Square Garden or it's Crypto. I don't know what the hell they're trying to do, but I've seen this story over and over again where teams make such a poor decision of thinking, let's get the damn building situated. Let's get this right. And then before all of these things are able to come into fruition, before the bright lights even shine on the new renovations, they completely lose their superstar player. These things happen all the time, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to hope that it doesn't happen for the Charlotte Hornets, because it will be devastating if that was to take place. The Hornets know what they have to do to obtain and continue to obtain Lamelo Ball services, because this stuff ain't gonna last forever. It's gonna come a point in time where it doesn't make any sense. And I believe we're getting to that point with Lamelo and the Hornets. And if these new reports about these I want to know what y'all thought about it when y'all first heard it. Was anybody enthused about all of this? What is this? Are they trying to deflect attention from what's truly going on? You tell me. This is not this is not a good move by new ownership, Plotkin and Snell and these guys. This is not how you make a big bang. This is not how you pop off, correctly when you just stepping into position and power. This is how you completely piss off a fan base. This is how you completely, people look at you and like, where's the direction? Who's in charge? You know, um, I want to see some I want to see $215 million put into this roster. You understand? Before we start discussing, new concession stands and soda machines and bright lights, and I think that we are already starting on a horrible foot. If you are a Hornets fan, you got to be disgusted. And I think, and I'm challenging Hornets fans in the city of Charlotte. You guys need to start turning up the pressure. At these games, you have to get more vocal. People, the comfortability level for the Charlotte Hornets organization, for these guys able to maneuver in the city of Charlotte, walking through the Spectrum Center, the building that they plan to renovate. I think you guys need to make life a living hell for these people when they walking through the building. You need to let your presence be known, and they need to understand that there's a job to do. This is not some joke. This is not some situation where you come in here for some publicity stunt for clicks and pictures and handshakes, and it's time to put some winning on the table, because what have they done since they've gotten here? They've signed Frank Ntilikina. Now they're talking about $215 million into the goddamn building. I think this is getting downright disgusting. And Lamelo Ball needs to start to see what's going on, and hopefully this results in some power and some position going into this roster. I think that's very important, because if they don't get that, they are going to be in a tumultuous period. Um, it don't make no sense. We got Dex in the building. Dex, how's your connection? You good? Dex will be back with us. Dex is having some technical difficulties this evening, but nonetheless, is a lot of things to discuss. I want to break down what's happening, and let me know if you guys. Shout out to Basil Carpenter Jr. in the building too. Let me make sure everybody can. Oh yeah, everybody good. Um, I want to break down what's happening with this $215 million, because this was first reported on Friday. You understand, where they unveiled plans for $215 million of renovations into the Spectrum Center. Some of these improvements from the 19-year-old building include new seats, bigger suites, and improvements at the concession stands. You understand? This is why I'm trying to tell you. This is going to be the new ownership's, claim to fame. This is where they're starting to lay their foundation into soda machines, concession stands, bigger suites, and bigger goddamn. This is bullshit. You understand? This is what I'm trying to explain to Hornets fans. You cannot accept this. You understand? Like I said, and LaMelo Ball fans are going to continue to raise hell until something changes. And if all this hell, because I'm trying to tell you right now, things are not about to get nice as the Hornets continue to lose and we continue to hear about shit like this, and I hope that when all this is said and done, it results in a big time trade. Because what the hell is it to have all of this shit going on and you don't have LaMelo Ball there to do anything about it? I think it's downright disgusting. So it's crazy. It says, shout out Deck. He says so money is running like water. Yeah, but they're not putting it into the personnel. And I think that's what's the most disgusting part. So I want to repeat what these guys have done, are trying to do. They say that the improvements to this 19-year-old building, like like I said, this is not a new arena. Most times you'll see people that are trying to build a new arena, but it seems like that's not what's going on with Charlotte. They're going to put something into the arena that they already have. And is this going to resort into free agents wanting to come here? This is what I'm asking, because I think that the move of ownership, they need to be concerned about making sure that they get the requisite parts into Charlotte, North Carolina, because if they don't do that, we pretty much wasting our goddamn time here, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I'm very disgusted when I heard about these soda machines that they're trying to put in here, in these suites. The work will take place during the off seasons between May of 2024 before the start of the 2025-26 season. This is what they're talking about doing for Lamelo Ball and the Charlotte Hornets. I really don't like this. You understand? They're talking about visibility into the bowl of the Spectrum Center where fans are watching and sitting in their seats, talking about supporting traffic flow and things of that nature, and in the midst of the Hornets going through hell, I guess this is a way to quell the fan base here, in the city of Charlotte. But I just don't want them to take the bait here. This is disgusting. And true accountability needs to be held by this organization. Who's in charge? Because when the last time we heard anything from Mitch Kupchak? I think Mitch Kupchak went AWOL a long time ago. We haven't heard him really since the Miles Bridges fiasco, and he was signing people. I think it's time for him to step up to the podium to discuss all this losing, to discuss how he lied to the city of Charlotte and the Charlotte Hornets by saying that he had all of the pieces in place this season and they were going to win. He clearly lied to everyone. Not only are they losing, but they are at the cellars, and we all know LaMelo's health and things like that. But we got to remember, even when LaMelo was rolling, it was still an uphill battle to climb. And they have not made any moves. Their names are not even in any discussions. When you're hearing about, I'm not saying DeJounte is a guy that, changes life, but you don't even hear their names in the trade rumors. You understand? When you hearing these names coming up, you don't even hear of the Hornets' interest in any of them. So you start to look at how are they going to improve the roster, because to be honest with you, this is a dead end situation. It's not like obviously you have Miller maybe and Miller and Williams, but are they going to turn into these juggernauts of the Eastern Conference that Lamelo is going to have as his 1A and 1B options? I think that's highly debatable, ladies and gentlemen, and it's going to be very tough, for all of this stuff to take place. So I think that it's time for the Hornets to get aggressive. This should not be where they starting off at in renovations. I would have liked to have seen them up put $215 million, put that shit into the luxury tax. You understand, and start to really do some things and shake this roster up. Because what the hell are you building you renovating for what? What if LaMelo requests a trade in between this time period of these renovations? And all of these things could potentially take place. Don't think that it can't. It's not safe. For the Charlotte Hornets right now, and especially of that mishandling of the services of Lamelo Ball during that time with him. You can only think that is only going to last for I don't know, because at some point something's going to go left because it was some lies told here, and it's going to get to a point where LaMelo's gonna have to walk into that office because I start to see the writing on the wall. At the end of this season, through all of this losing, it could be uncertainty in this organization. You could have a new president coming in, new coaching staff. This is all what I believe is in the horizon for LaMelo Ball. While we watch Anthony Edwards make a Western Conference playoff run, while we watch Tyrese and these dudes these are the things that concern me. Watching this whole scenario break down, we are going to watch all of these people while we watch LaMelo go through another situation of a new coach and now a new president because Mitch Kupchak has got to be gone. There's no way Mitch Kupchak survives this. Jordan is not there to save him. New ownership is coming to bring in their guys. They have pretty much retained all of the people that was there. And and this new ownership, I want to hope. See, this is the optimistic view. Let's say new ownership is putting money on the table. Okay, let's say they run these people out the door, and they bring in their guys and they empower their guys, with the money to go out there and really get aggressive and really upgrade the roster to where the Charlotte Hornets need to be. And then now I think we're talking. But until we see that, I think we have to continue to evaluate them in the way they need to be evaluated. And they need to be evaluated with a side eye at all times. You need to watch them, and nothing proves to me that they are going to really do something and put it around Melo. He says, "What's going on with this franchise?" Well, LeVar Ball did tell us that this is not really a good franchise, and they've proven it time in and time again. I think that changes have to be made from top to bottom, and this build from within approach, it seems like what they were trying to do. I think that it's just not enough time. I don't know if Miller turns into that guy right away. I think we could be talking 2 seasons away from seeing Miller where he needs to be. Not next season. I think he's going to take a step, but I think the following, you might see Miller, and does Melo have that amount of time, and who's to say that everybody else is going to be building, around everybody to everybody come rising up together. And that's going to be the most key. How can the whole team rise together, because they have, and everybody's rising at different levels. You have some people not even developing at all, on this roster. You got veterans that you have to make a decision on, and these decisions needs to happen right away, because even watching them, they literally got stepped on by the Spurs, y'all. And Melo was doing his thing, and it didn't look good. Anthony Jefferson says, "I don't understand why the Hornets like Steve Clifford so much." Hey, that's the coach that they've empowered, so they're gonna have to go with him at the end of the day. It's just the beginning. Steve Clifford won't last. I'm telling you right now, Steve Clifford won't be there for much longer. I think he needs to be relieved, and he got thrown in. And if he gets fired, I hope that he don't get screwed around, because, to be honest with you, they did nothing to help him. They have not improved. Usually, when a new coach comes in, you see some adjustments made to the roster to their liking. They have not made any adjustments to the liking of Steve Clifford. They haven't, and he's pretty much just playing with the same pieces that Borrego played with, and dare I say, Borrego maximized them a little bit better. The Hornets are stuck in between a rock and a hard place. You could say that the injuries turned up under Borrego and all of the fiasco, because you had Miles in rhythm under Borrego. You didn't really have a Miles. Miles is completely out of rhythm, in my opinion. He's not playing aggressive. He's not playing like Miles Bridges, in the way that I thought he was going to play under Lamelo um, this season. And I don't know what the contract gonna look like this season coming up. This is why I'm trying to tell you, we could be looking at a completely different Hornets team next season. New ownership, Miles gone, new coach. Because if Miles is requiring all this money, how do you pay Miles Bridges all of that money, and you don't have the winning and all of this stuff to go with it? I think, what are you paying for? This is what I'm trying. You got to make sure that you're not spending all your valuable dollars into a dead end situation that's going absolutely nowhere. I don't want the Charlotte Hornets to go nowhere, but this is what's happening. All of these teams are getting off the ground now. I thought that the Hornets was going to be in position. I'm seeing teams like Orlando. All of these teams have skyrocketed past Charlotte. And how are they going to catch these teams? Let alone being competitive, in the upper echelons in the Eastern Conference. Just scratching into the play-in is hell on earth, at these teams. Shout out to the Chief in the building. Shout out to Basil. He says Hornets got some good pieces that just gotta get more lottery picks build. Yeah, listen. that seems to be the only resort. And to be honest with you, the Hornets and Cell, they really need the number one overall pick. I think that would have accelerated life if they could have got Victor Wembanyama. And we talk about fit and was this a good place for Victor? I think Charlotte would have been a wonderful place for Victor. But obviously, it was some meddling involved that got Victor to San Antonio because he should have went to Charlotte. But we'll save that for another situation. Um, the Hornets look like they're going to be up for another top five pick, and that's what it looks like in this new draft. They could be the seventh or eighth pick because there's no guarantee. You have teams that's even worse than them. Um, Rap guy says Michael Jordan's waiting for Cooper Flag. We're gonna find out. But if they could get another top three, top two pick, I think that helps because but it's like you have to wait for these people to develop, and you have to continue to watch everybody win and move and their teams at an accelerated pace. And the Hornets seem like they're stuck in the mud here. Are they gonna move any of these picks? To at what point is it time to go all in? A lot of these teams have done it. You look at Minnesota when they traded for Rudy Gobert. A lot of people thought it was stupid, especially last year, because it happened and it seemed like it wasn't getting off to the best start. You don't see any laughing going on anymore. They went all in and it has paid off. They look where they're at. I want to see the Hornets do something similar because Melo hasn't as good as a listen. Melo is a hell of a playmaker, but you got to have people to play make for. You got and the Hornets don't have that. The Hornets don't have consistent guys even that's healthy. Even the guys like Miller has missed time. You know, um, so it seems like this season is another wash already. Because it's going to be tough for me to say they can really entertain a play-in. They're going to be fighting from way behind to get to that point. And what point do you prioritize Lamelo Ball and pull the plug on the season? Because, like I said, obviously got All Star break coming. Let's look here. The Hornets are 8-28, and the Nets are 16-22. So you clearly see what's going on here. The Hornets in trouble, y'all. How are they going to maintain position out here in this Eastern Conference? They're 8-28. Do you know what the 12th seed is? They're 15-24, and that's the Toronto Raptors. So to be believe it or not, the Hornets to me they look like they're in a tough jam right now where they're gonna be stuck at 13th, and they could even go down to 14th. They are locked in with the Washington Wizards and the Detroit Pistons, and they're looking at everybody else competing for playing and playoff scenarios. That is the life of the Charlotte Hornets at this given point. This is tough. Deck says the Charlotte Hornets franchise is discreet, discrediting the metal ball young legacy. Um, Listen, it's a tough situation. What's going on with them? But like I said, I'm looking at these teams like Toronto, Atlanta, Brooklyn, the Bulls, Orlando, Miami. These are the playing teams, y'all. How in God's name is Charlotte gonna compete with any of these squads? You look at Toronto, for instance, y'all. The Toronto Raptors have made improvements. They moved on from OG and Anunoby. Let me just give you a scenario of these teams that's actually competing for playoff scenarios, and this is where you're gonna find out why the Charlotte Hornets are in this just messed up situation, because they have never decided to pull a trigger on anything, and this is why they're here. Atlanta, right now they're 11th. You're hearing DeJounte all in trade rumors. Let me tell you something, y'all. DeJounte may not even get traded. You understand? But the fact that they done lit the fire under his ass, you understand that your ass could be up out of here. This man done bought this new house out here in Atlanta. He got his girl out here. They loving it. They coming from San Antonio. They thought they was gonna spread their wings in Atlanta. Now you hearing rumors that your ass could be out of town. You understand? What does that do? This man is gonna play with reckless abandonment. This man got to play for his security. Look what you have done. The Charlotte Hornets have not provided any level of make somebody feel insecure. Where have they lit the fire under anybody's ass? So everybody is comfortable chilling with their women up here in supermarkets and shit, chilling Instagram. I mean, this is ridiculous. You understand? It's time for change, for the Charlotte Hornets. You understand? There's too much going on here, and it's too much losing, and it's too much smiling, and it's too much bullshitting. You understand? Now let's go to Brooklyn, god damn it. Brooklyn is in the 10th seed. They just traded last year, for the Iron Man. Shout out to my man, Mikal Bridges. They got his name all in trade rumors. He goes, they in the 10th seed, but they got him out there in the mud thinking he could be shopped around. Do you understand how you need to shake up this organization? Why didn't the Hornets feel like they start to shake up people? Let's get Bridges' name out there in trade rumors. Let's get some of these people names of y'all could be traded. Y'all like literally make it uncomfortable. Like tomorrow could be your last day. You understand? And this is why they need to come out and play ferociously. That's right. It says you didn't like shopping. No, I didn't like shopping with PJ. I didn't like that. It was very disgusting. You understand? Because they're losing, and I don't like what's happening. There's too much. There's too much laughter. It's too much. They shouldn't have any of that going on in the midst of this. You understand? That's exactly where I'm resorting to. I didn't like that at all. And back to what I was saying. Look what's going on with the Chicago Bulls. Now they had a fire under their ass forever, ever since Lonzo left. They're ninth right now. They got Zach all in trade rumors, DeMar in trade rumors. You understand? The whole roster could shake up tonight if possible. This is what the Bulls have provided for all of them. Even though Zach done signed for that money. But I just seen a report today that they trying to figure out to find another team. They trying to work something out. It ain't working out, and this could result in a multitude of different ways. You could result in Zach shutting down completely, or it could result in the Bulls taking off to the top 5 in the East. Not to say that that's going to happen, because that's going to be an uphill battle, for any of them. But I'm just trying to lay the foundation and the scenario out for the people. And what's going on with Charlotte? Who's in trade rumors? You understand? Who are they even in talks of making any moves? You understand? You had Laurie Markkinen's name out there in rumors. Why aren't the Hornets in trade rumors for that? Why aren't you even hearing the Hornets name in the interest for DeJounte? It seems like it's just you got the Knicks right now. They just traded for OG Anunoby, and they already talking about other moves that need to be made and things that they're gonna be doing. You know, um, what's going on with Cleveland? They top 5 right now. They got my man Olin trade rumors, and my man, y'all know who I'm talking about, Donovan Mitchell. He could be traded at any day. They got it feeling like shit ain't working out. So you have to light the fire under your team, and to hear that, what you're not hearing any renovation plans, for these other teams. You hearing about they renovating their ass out of town, if they don't start to produce. And that's what I want to see from Charlotte, because I don't know what's happening. It seems like Charlotte is becoming a new Hollywood, out there where everybody just having fun and nobody want to leave. And shit, with all this losing, nobody want to go nowhere. Who's gonna come in here and just get people up out of here and get the right people in? They don't have that. They need to get, they need Bismack Biyombo. I'm keeping 100 with you. They need to put him on the bench, and light a fire under some of these young players. They need to start because the season is over. It's time to bring in the right people to. And I know Bismack was doing. They just released him out there in Memphis. I like what Bismack was doing on the bench for Memphis. You need people like that to talk to these guys while everybody's having a ball, partying and living their best life, and losing every single game like this. Somebody got to come in here and slap some people upside the head. They need to get some veterans in here. They need to do something. Something got to give. Because it seems like every season We have been having it's like a broken fucking record. That's what's going on. And other teams are winning, going into the next level, of what they've done and they're established. And the Hornets haven't even made the playoffs under Lamelo Ball yet. When Lamelo originally came to Charlotte, I was thinking it was going to be a Kemba Walker situation. you know, um, Listen, Kemba Walker got to the postseason. They actually did a little bit more than what they put around Melo. Now, we've heard people, Dex was in here not too long ago discussing it may be something about design with the NBA and things like that. Um, you start to look at the Hornets, they are not, this is not a competitive roster. You understand? That's going to be even competitive in the East, let alone the NBA. Is this by design? You understand? Is it being designed and set up for LaMelo not to make it to the playoffs? Because you got to remember, 2 years ago, the Hornets was knocking at that door. It seems like they go far away from that door right now, y'all. I don't know how closer they are to the door than they were 2 years ago, but it seems like I've seen drastic separation from the Charlotte Hornets from being a competitive basketball team. And it seems like they're going further and further away as LaMelo gets older, and I just don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. I don't see it. Another draft pick is not going to bring them any closer, unless it's the number one overall pick. If it's not the number one overall pick, I say the Hornets entertain trading it. It's time to entertain winning for once, for the Charlotte Hornets. It's time to entertain some aggressive play, shake shit up, go after somebody. California says they should have kept Kelly Oubre. Kelly Oubre clearly wasn't the problem. But I mean he wasn't the solution either. But you need veterans on the team because these guys are running amok. You needed those guys. They're not what's the name put out a piece. I forgot who the hell said Dwight Howard. A lot of people laughed at him. Dwight would be good for this team. Could you imagine Dwight working with a guy like Mark Williams and these people? Could you imagine they not trading, but they picking up these guys? A John Wall who's backing up Melo. You could use some of these people that was out there. DeMarcus Cousins. These would be good for the locker room. Why didn't they sign Carmelo Anthony? You understand? These are the people that they should have went after. Because not only have they would have possibly affected winning, for this season, but they are you talking about establishing a culture, and for a team that is not as cheap, you could have got these people for the low. You could have got Melo on a veterans minimum. Melo was entertaining coming back. He would have came back to Charlotte and entertained the roster and the band. Who I don't know if he would have did it, but you could have possibly did something there. Could you imagine him working with a Brandon Miller? You understand, practicing with Miller, training with Brand. Do you see where I'm going with this? You understand? You need to start to think about that. Bringing in even a guy like Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah's been kind of he ain't. I mean, it's tougher, but Isaiah, I would have loved to seen John Wall because he still got that ferocious mindset. You throw John Wall in there, could he have lit a fire under a book night? I'm not saying Melo could have done it, but there seems to be some level of comfortability here where everybody. Why isn't Book Night been in trade rumors? Why haven't they had let Kai Jones go like he was a bag of chips? You understand? He requested a trade. They said that they don't believe you have any trade value for this guy. This is what they've done to their young players. They have devalued these guys so much that they can't even get a second round pick for them. They can't even get a guy off the bench who could help. They couldn't get absolutely nothing to the point where you just time to just release him. Book Night has no trade value. They're better off just doing them with the Kai Jones treatment and releasing him. This is what they've done for Book Night. And LeVar was here. It's Book Night fault majority, but the Hornets has a part to play in it as well because he was a lottery pick that was supposed to be able to produce. I think if you put Book Night on another organization, you see something. But it was a lot of misses, man. Too many. There's a lot of change that have to be made. I see everybody in the chat. This is John Wall from Carolina. Shout out Anthony. You already know, man. John Wall would have definitely helped out. Dwight Howard and Carmelo Anthony would have came in here and shook shit up. It says in Charlotte is not a small market. Well, I mean, it's a small market team, but I understand where you're going. I think if they could Charlotte is a good city. It's a hell of a city. I'm not gonna sit up here and shit on it. I think that should be a destination franchise for people to want to come to Charlotte. You understand? But you have to, improve the roster to get it to that point where people want to come there. You understand? It's not Oklahoma City. You understand? It's not like it's not Utah. But you shout out to Utah. But I mean, you know where I'm going with this. Charlotte is a better city than a lot of people give credit for, and people should want to go there, but they got to fix shit, and it's going to take years and years of fixing shit to get Charlotte to the promised land. I just don't see it, in my humble opinion, but it is what it is at the end of the day. The Charlotte Hornets, like I said, I want to repeat, their record is 8-28. They only won 8 games this season. This is why everybody need to get the hell out. If I'm Charlotte, I want everybody out because they're sitting right there with the Jordan Pools of the world. They won just a few more games than the Detroit Pistons. I'm telling you, the Pistons really saved all of these guys from the treatment and the attention that they rightfully does. They all need to thank the city of Detroit and the Pistons this season because they don't have the right magnifying glass shined on them because you had a team that was just 30 times worse, you know. And it just was a big storyline. That losing streak captivated the world, So that took some light away from where the Hornets need. The Hornets need that attention too. The Wizards, but the Wizards are just they cursed. The Hornets was a team that you expected to be in there with Orlando. How did Orlando just leapfrog Charlotte? You understand? These are the teams that they were competing with, the Pacers of the world. Now they are just out the race, and the Pacers are fourth. This is what I'm trying to tell you where we going here, in the NBA. Minnesota, 27-11, number one. So these are the top guys that was in that draft class with LaMelo Ball. Those three names, they're going to be synonymous for years to come. And they are going to really, obviously, Anthony Edwards already been in the postseason, but it's time now for him to take that next step. And now you're about to see it, with them with home court advantage. How are they going to manage that? A lot they've been in the playoffs, not with home court advantage throughout. If they could secure that first round matchup, which is going to be hell on earth, because there's no guarantee that they're going to win either. Minnesota could very well end up like Sacramento last year, that exciting young team, and they get knocked off because what if they face the Lakers? I'm picking the Lakers in that series. What if they face Phoenix? In the 7-game series, Minnesota. This is what I'm trying to tell you. But at the end of the day, that's just how it all ends. That organization has put their players in position for success, and that's what I want to see the organization do for LaMelo Ball. I want them to put him in position to succeed and win, because if not, they're gonna be stuck in between a rock and a hard place. Shout out to my man Calfani. The NBA is scared of Melo making it to the playoffs because he will win. Listen, I think he was knocking at that door, just 2 years ago. I'm trying to figure out how he got so far away from the door. That's what I'm trying to see now. It seems like he won't be getting back to the door for a while unless a major move was to occur. And you don't see that major move on the horizon. They're not going to get back to that door, you know, drafting young talent year after year after year while teams are trading, making big swings and shit. Orlando's going to be a team to make something happen. Look where they at, Indy. Who's to say Indiana name? Why they named out in the Pascal Siakam move? What's going on? These are good questions. Charlotte should be dangling around for Pascal Siakam. And this goes back to what I'm trying to tell you. Just a few hours ago, I see Indiana. They trying to figure something out for Pascal. This is what they trying to do for Tyrese Halliburton, y'all. you know. But they not doing none of this for Lamelo. They we just gonna try to bring back Bridges. I hope that he have a better season than this year. I just think this is a recipe for disaster. If Indy gets Pascal Siakam, that's gonna be disgusting. I think that needs to be the nail in the coffin for Lamelo in terms of possibly asking for a trade, even as early as this season. Let's just get this over with. If the Indiana Pacers trade for Pascal Siakam, I think a Lamelo Ball trade request needs to follow it, because you need to see what's happening. And if the Charlotte Hornets ain't gonna do nothing, it's time to ask out. I think he's given this organization just about everything that he could. He's brought life to it. They mishandled LiAngelo. Um, if they're gonna do all this losing, I mean, at least manage LiAngelo correctly. That was a disgusting. The way they handled him, especially in the G League. They did not treat him like LaMelo was the franchise guy. I've seen guys like J.R. Smith, six man of the year in New York City. He was able to bring his brother in. His brother didn't go through the G League like this. And Jello would have torched. I forgot, I think his name was Eric Smith or something. I forgot what the hell it was. Chris Smith, whatever the hell. But JR's brother was not to the level of LiAngelo. And he was able to get his brother on the bench, throughout the season. And the way they handled Jello was disgusting. So I think Melo needs to see what's happening here. For that alone, I think it's time to start to really scratch your head. And like I said, Siakam just cannot go to Indy, and this is why you know, this is why if you are the Charlotte Hornets, you cannot allow Siakam to go to Indiana. I mean, you send him anywhere else, but if Indiana is trying to get him, you might need to do something. You might need to move Bridges. You might need to move PJ and whoever you can to go get Siakam, because you cannot allow Siakam to go to the Indiana Pacers and bolster their roster. Now you're talking about possibly a top 3 seed in the East, because, look at Philly. I love Philly. But when you look at my man Joel Embiid, I just always think he could collapse at any given second. And right now they're 24-13. The Pacers are 23-15. So they could very well shoot all the way to a top 2, top 3 seed in the East if a Siakam move was to be made. This is how devastating things can go down, and I'm interested to see if Charlotte, can make things happen. It's gonna be interesting to see. Shout out Ghost J. He told me to stop the madness respectfully. I mean, I don't see the madness. At the end of the day, Jello is a polarizing player. A lot of people got their own thoughts, but I got my own eyes, and I saw the mismanagement of LiAngelo in Greensboro. Even with the Hornets, like I said, the only thing I will hold Jello accountable, like I said, he got a lot of time that first game against the Boston Celtics in that pregame. It was pardon me, it was a preseason game. Y'all know where I'm going with this. Jello was able to get a lot of shots up. It was Jello's first game, in the preseason. He did not connect, you know, um, with a lot of threes. So, and I believe that he did not get the same opportunity any other game after that. So, I don't know if the organization, they didn't give him the same opportunity. And when he did get another time, more time, he was able to produce. But he did not get the same level of shots again. He was never able to play with Lamelo Ball. You understand? So all of these things hurt. Jello, in my humble opinion. You tell me, because if they was able to put him on the floor with the starters with Melo, you talking about a shooter here, y'all. All of these guys get attention. If you were able to put him out there where PJ requires attention, Melo requires attention. That opens up a guy like Jello, who, and Melo would have fed him. And that's why I think it was some sort of who was behind keeping them separated. You understand? They don't even get on the floor together, but they are posting pictures. You understand? They are promoting the brothers. Do you see where I'm going with this? This goes back to Greensboro, promoting him on the ticket flyers, promoting him all over social media, and to not even play him in the game. I guess they'll bolster their views on it on YouTube, which Jello did. I'm pretty sure you see a complete drastic change in viewership from when Jello was there to his departure. This is how we going here with it, y'all. It was a complete mismanagement. But I don't like how they handle Jello because I mean, if he make a shot, they keep him in. If he misses first shot, it seems like they're bringing in his replacement to the scorer's desk. It always seemed like to be a very quick trigger with Jello, even in Greensboro. You know, um, Jello will go from starting to never even playing again. And I heard him speak. After that, eventually, and he spoke on, like I said, he had to get up out of there. So at what point does Melo have to get the hell up out of there? It says, who is better than speaking for Jello? Take the fandom out of it. Who is he better than? Man, you start to look at this roster. I mean, I'm gonna put him over a lot of these guys. I think Jello obviously could definitely help out a lot more than what Book Night is doing. I think you could remove Book Night and you could put Jello right in there. I think I know Jello does more he could do more for the team than what Book Night has done, but he's just not given the opportunity. Book Night has been given a lot of opportunities, and he hasn't done anything. Multiple years, in the summer league, and that did nothing. This season alone, when he was in the summer league, he should have annihilated. You're talking about a 3-year guy. He should have just, and you talking about 2 points. He looked horrible. You understand? And I want to see Jello in that position. I wish he got more those opportunities. Jello didn't even receive the opportunities of a Jalen Crutcher, in my humble opinion. But these guys were given, the rock. These guys was given the opportunity, and Jello wasn't. That's where I'm going with it. Shout out Calfani, Jello. That was by design to keep LeVar from being right about his prediction. Like I said, everybody has their opinion on that situation, but the truth is, it was a complete mismanagement, of Jello out there in Greensboro and in Charlotte. But it is what it is. He was given an opportunity. They did sign him, so if you want to credit that, but he just like I said, it was tough. Him not being so separate from Melo was disgusting. It was downright disgusting. You would have never seen that, did and that's wild. That alone should tell you that everybody was not enthusiastic about him sticking around. But it is what it is at the end of the day. Um, it's a lot going on with Charlotte. They need to start shopping somebody, and they need to get their names in the hats of some of these rumors. I want to see Charlotte go after somebody. That's what I really want to see. I want to wake up tomorrow morning and say Charlotte is traded such and such and such and such, and they bringing in Siakam. They did something, and they bringing in Siakam and D'Angelo Russell. I mean, this is what I want to hear in the morning. I know you learn. I know like D'Angelo Russell. Whoa, wait a minute, flight. Listen, it's time to upgrade the talent on this roster. And D'Angelo Russell is better than a lot of these guys. If you could trade Terry Rozier right now, get D'Lo, try to get your hand in the mix in the Siakam move. You trade PJ, it's not working out. If you get Bridges up out of there, he gonna be asking for all this money. Trade PJ and Bridges. Go get that's my quick fix scenario, y'all. Go get D'Lo and go get Siakam. You understand? And I think that changes life And that gives you hope for next season. Now you have different pieces, different people in place. And now you give yourself a true puncher's chance next season. With a competitive roster. Siakam, NBA champion. D'Lo played in multiple, playoff situations and things like that. The truth, you know, um, this guy can help change life right away. For the Charlotte Hornets. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. D'Lo, they want his ass out of town. D'Angelo Russell could be out the door at any given second. And I seen D'Lo doing some incredible things, and LeBron not paying no homage. So I seen him do that to Isaiah Thomas. A few years ago. Y'all know where I'm. That's when he traded half the damn roster. You're hearing LeBron complain. They suck right now. My son could come in and do this, this, and this. So it is a mess what's going on right now with the Charlotte Hornets. But it is what it is. Calfani says maybe Lamelo will request a trade one day. Yeah, I think so too. They need to trade They need to trade for Anthony. They sure do need to trade for Anthony Davis. But that's not gonna happen. Now we just out here wilding. How about force Michael Jordan? I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know if Jordan is like I don't want to give Jordan the James Dolan treatment. Jordan is still involved some way, somehow, but I don't think he's handicapped and crippling this roster to the way people think, especially not at this moment in time. Um, I think that this is a true. They just don't know what the hell they doing. They need to get somebody. They need to hire like a Tom Thibodeau dude. You know, if they got, Tom Thibodeau came to New York, the Knicks was in the cellars. They was dysfunctional. They ain't know what to do. They just, I mean, it's people out there to get, but they're not going to get them. They're not going to go get Mark Jackson. He's blackballed. Can Melo break free from? Yeah, he can if he requests a trade. But like I said, the only way I'm telling you the way they could break free with the personnel. They get the right personnel in here that changes it all. But this a nasty, nasty scenario for the Charlotte Hornets. For them to get involved. Ghost J says Hornets trade is probably their best. I said that. Lowry for Rozier and picks. The Hornets vets. Um, that I see you said hire Sam. See, I don't know about Sam Cassell because he's an unknown guy. There's a difference between being an assistant and being in the seat. You understand? And we don't know what he's going. We don't need no uncertainty. I think we need to get some surefire in here. We need to get somebody that what's going to happen. A guy that changes culture. You need to get a face of the franchise kind of guy who could come in here and speak for everybody. Or somebody like Tom Thibodeau. Like I said, I don't know who's out there like him, but somebody who could come in here and take over the whole organization. You know, um, uh, but I like Sam Cassell, but I don't know if he's the guy for Charlotte because, like I said, he's never been a head coach before. There's some uncertainty there. Do you really have time to hope it works out? And that's what you're gonna be doing with Sam Cassell. You just gonna be a lot of hope. He was a great assistant. He did all the success, but we don't know what he's gonna be like as a head coach. It could be some growing pains, naturally. Do you really want to go into a pressurized environment with a guy possibly requesting a trade if shit don't work out? I think shout out to Sam Cassell. He was the truth. A lot of people need to do their homework. Somebody says hire Phil Handy. I think they need to hire Mike D'Antoni. Because I know people like, man, what the hell? Mike D'Antoni, you know what you're getting. You know, this guy Mike D'Antoni has had people that would less. He would maximize this offense to the best of his ability. Under Lamelo Ball, we know what he's done with point guards. You know what you're getting. You understand what a Mike D'Antoni. And that's what I want. Somebody for a change. You know what you're getting. I think if they could have got the dude Kenny Atkinson, that would have been better. I think that obviously that was their first decision. I think that would have been, they tried to do the right thing with Kenny Atkinson. He backed out. Kenny Atkinson obviously must have knew something, because why would you back out of? You don't even see shit like that. So Atkinson knew something was going on. But it is what it is at the end of the day. Shout out my man Kenny Atkinson. Uh, he ended up turning down the job up here in Charlotte. The Charlotte Hornets, they're gonna be back. So just everybody just hang in there. But the problem is, how long is Lamelo gonna hang in there? You know, um, do they need to hit the reset button? They might. And I've seen reports. What was it, a few days ago, where they said that Lamelo, they're not looking to trade Melo. They look at Melo as a foundational building block piece, and I'm trying to figure out where did all that shit even come from, and this is when you start to see, if you're not going to get competitive with LaMelo, what is really going to go down? Who the hell is the biggest asset on this roster? Is LaMelo Ball. Who the hell can they get a haul? Who the hell got the haul? You understand? Is you got to start to figure out what's the plan here. Are they looking at New York and they trying to get them 9 first-round picks and who else? I'm just saying, are they looking at Oklahoma City and looking at all them picks that Sam Presti done accumulated? You understand? You got to, if they was to put LaMelo Ball on the trading block, they could get all of that. You understand? All of the shit that New York has accumulated through the years, they could get every single one of those first round picks. All of the shit Sam Presti has been prestigiously creating and cultivating in Oakland, they could get all of it. You understand? And you got to start to think, is that the $1 million plan for the Charlotte Hornets? To move LaMelo and just get this thing over with and get the haul from one of these teams, because that's what's going to happen. And I'm not saying that they're gonna do it, but where did all of this stuff come from? Why is he even? How did that happen? How did his name say? Why they have to come out and say they view him as a piece for the future and he's a franchise building block? Why did that report come out? That's my opinion. Why is his name even in a what's going on? Because you don't hear anything else. You heard his name. I didn't like that. And I start to see, lies when that goes on, when they start to talk that shit. Oh no, he's a fake. We view him as a piece for the future. We would never move Melo. Then you start to see you start to see the writing on the wall. They talking all this and what they never do, and then never putting any pieces around him at the same time. So you got to start to use your eyes, and I'm using them and I'm watching it all. Ghost J says Melo is the cash cow. Why would move the cash cow? No, they shouldn't. But I'm telling you that if they was to put LaMelo Ball on the table, they could get every single thing from the New York Knicks and they could get every single thing from the Oklahoma City Thunder. So I'm just telling you what could happen. And some of these teams gonna be out the race because you're talking multiple first round picks now. Somebody talking about the Lakers will not have the assets to trade for LaMelo Ball, so we need to get that shit out the way. If that happened, there was obviously some tampering involved. You're talking about multiple first round picks for a young talent like this. These are the people that's going to be in the mix for a trade for Melo if this was to happen. And I believe a trade request for Melo could happen as early as this summer or next season. If this continues, and teams just need to continue to update arsenal and continue to do what they're gonna do. You're gonna have teams you always have a team out the woodworks, but a guy like Melo, I think is a piece that you put all the picks up for. You haul off the assets. You might look at the injuries and things like that, but this is a young talent, electrifying, a franchise changer. And you was to put him in New York with that defense. You understand? Now you're talking something. You put him in Oklahoma City with Chet Holmgren and these people. You saying something. You understand? Now you're talking about a guy who can Now you're talking about real competitive stuff and putting Lamelo where he need to be, which is in the NBA, in the promised land of the NBA. Because that's not what's happening in Charlotte. And that's what I want to see from Melo. I don't want to see this sideshow. Um, how many times he could drop 30 in a row. I want to see how many times he can get to the postseason, how many championship runs he can take. This is what I want to see. So new ownership have to roll their sleeves up. Is paramount. For them to do that. But it's gonna be the $1 million question if it was to take place. But it is what it is, man. I want to thank all y'all for tuning in, man, tonight, man, because this was an epic conversation. We definitely gonna have a lot more conversations. Shout out to everybody in the chat that pulled up. If anybody's welcome to come through, I'll drop the link right now. If you want to politic, otherwise I'm about to end the stream. I'll give you guys about a minute or two if anybody want to speak on this topic. But like I said, the $215 million in renovations, it was just like I said, I don't want to hear this. You understand? I don't want to hear about a renovations plan when it's big business like this that need to go on the table. You understand? Where you need to put the right requisite parts. I don't want to hear any of this shit. You understand? This was very disgusting. When I got this news of $215 million in renovations, and I'm seeing all these other guys skyrocket to the top of the NBA. I want to see Melo at the top of the NBA. You understand? That's what I want. And it's very well may not take place in the city of Charlotte, in the Queen City. The Queen City has to get it together. And I'm imploring the fan base, the people that go to these arenas. When you see Rick Snell and these people and Plotkin and put the pressure on these people. Let it be known what you want. You understand? I'm not saying go out there and get yourself arrested, but make your voice heard. You understand? Let them be known that you love the Hornets. And when are we gonna get some improvement to the roster? Is there anything in place to improve the personnel? And that's just how you need to speak to these people. And hopefully something takes place. It is what it is at the end of the day, man. It's Flight Sports TV. Make sure you hit the like button and most definitely hit the subscribe button. We're going to be back tomorrow. We got the Charlotte Hornets facing off against the Miami Heat. It's going to be an epic game. Make sure you pull up. Peace and love.
Flight Sports TV, man. That's my dude. I rolls with him.
You heard what the man said. It's Flight Sports TV.